Hi and welcome to Outwell and to the Birdland 3 from our deluxe collection. This is a compact tunnel design tent that can sleep up to 3 people, but it's going to be ideal for use perhaps for couples for long weekends or something like that. With it being from our deluxe collection, you'll find that the material we're using on here is our Outex 5000. So this is a premium quality taffeta polyester material that has been fully PU coated, and all of the seams have been fully taped as well. It has a hydrostatic head of 5,000 millimeters, so what that means is, of course, it's completely waterproof even in heavy rainfall days. The frame that we use on here is actually a bit of a hybrid, so we have one steel pole towards the front of the tent here, which does make it really solid and sturdy and rigid. And we then also have our Duratec fiberglass poles towards the back and coming off of the steel pole at the front here to create this canopy, which we'll show you just in a little second round the front. We also use our wind stabilizer on this tent here, so this is what these pieces of Velcro are for. I'll just show you how it works. When you set the tent up, what you do is wrap these around the poles like this, and you'll find that there's one of these at the top and at the bottom of each pole all the way around the tent. So when they're in place, this is where the guy lines are attached to, and when you pull these out and peg them into the ground, it pulls the fly sheet against the frame of the tent, making it much more taut, much more stable. So again, weather-wise, if it's windy, wet, you'll be well protected within this tent. All of the poles are also colour-coded, of course, so that when you set the tent up, you'll know that you're getting the right pole in the right place as well. So the guy lines all the way around the tent are all luminous, or classic luminous guy lines here, so you're not going to trip over them when it's dark, and they each have their own retainer as well. So just attached to the bottom here, you'll see these Velcro tabs, which we can just form a loop and then wrap these guy lines up and pop them in there so that the next time you come to use the tent, these are going to be easily accessible and you're not going to have to waste too much time untangling a mess of guy lines. We then also use our aero-effective ventilation within this tent, so that's this nice sleek and streamlined vent on the side here. There is another one on the other side as well. So underneath here there's a large mesh panel that runs the full length of this particular panel here. That's going to allow cool fresh air into the tent and reduce the amount of condensation within there. If it does get a little bit too cold or too chilly, we can easily remove these vents just simply by taking the Velcro tabs down and pressing down like this, and that should keep you a little bit more cosy inside. So when we come around to the front here, I did mention that we have this canopy on here, and it's a really nice feature because what it does is it creates a full rain-safe entrance at the front of this tent. You can see that it's covering the door completely here, so you're not going to get any rainfall coming into this area. We then also do protect the door as well. There is a storm flap that runs around this D door here, so that when the door is zipped closed, this will cover the door itself, or the zipper. But I also just want to highlight here that we also tape the seams behind the zip here just to make sure that this zip is going to be totally watertight as well. So even though it's quite a compact tent, it's actually a full stand-up height tent. Once I'm in here, I'll show you the head height. But for now, just highlight the door again. So it's a good sized door actually, and it is definitely a walk-in tent for most people anyway. The door itself has got a large window on the front, so even when that's closed, you'll still get views out of the tent from within. And there is also at the moment a full mesh door, which we just have rolled away here, which is tucked into this door. So what that means is when you're in here, again, you can close over the mesh door, but leave the outside waterproof door open to allow cool fresh air into the tent. So now that I'm in here, as I say, it is a full stand-up height. I mean, I'm quite tall at about 1.95 m, and I can stand up in here, no problem at all. A good amount of floor space as well, and that's thanks to the frame that we're using on the outside here, particularly with that steel frame at the front. It is a fully sealed tent as well, so from front to back and side to side we have a bathtub ground sheet. So you can see what I mean by that is it comes up at the edges here, and it's going to stop any drafts, things like dirt, dust or sand coming in, and hopefully keep out those unwanted bugs as well. Even though, as I say, it's quite a compact sized tent, we've got huge windows on here allowing lots of light into the tent, making it feel that wee bit more spacious as well. And then the windows do have curtains, so that includes the window on the front door as well. So if you do want a little bit more privacy, you can obviously take this curtain out. You can either bring it halfway up using the toggle points on either side, or of course you can fully close it as well. I'll just show you at the top here is the mesh ventilation panel that I mentioned earlier, which corresponds to the outside panel on the outside, which obviously we have closed over at the moment. At the back of the tent is where you'll find the bedroom, and as I say, it can sleep up to 3 people, although certainly a good spacious bedroom here for 2. It actually comes pre-attached as well, so that's a job that you don't need to worry about. It's already in place. And how it's attached is using our wave-shaped hanging point system on here. So whilst it looks very stylish, it actually has a good function as well of taking any of the stress off of this top seam of the bedroom. Within here, you'll also find that we have some handy storage pockets located on both sides of the bedroom, so that's going to be great for phones and chargers or books and things like that. Across the back of the bedroom, you'll just see this ventilation panel, which corresponds to an outside panel as well on the back of the tent. So also just to highlight here that there is of course a full door for the bedroom that can be zipped over, but when it's open like this, there is a stow pocket down here, so we can just tuck that away to keep it nice and neatly tidied. There is also a lantern hanging point towards the front of the tent, which you won't be able to see unfortunately from the angle that we're at, but it's just at the front here. And then what we have is some cable tidies that run down away from that hanging point. So if you've got an electric lantern or something like that, it's great for that. And at the front of the tent is where we have our electric access point. So we can see here that there's a zip, which would just allow you to run cables into the tent whilst keeping the front door closed over and watertight. So we have a couple of optional extras available for the tent, which would be a fleece carpet for the living area in here, just to give a little bit more comfort underfoot. And there's also a footprint available to go under the tent as well, which is of course going to keep your ground sheet clean and dry on those wet and muddy days. So there you have it then, that's all the features of our Birdland 3 from the Deluxe collection. Thank you very much for watching.